Have you ever felt like your mind could do more than just think creatively or solve problems? What if it's not just a computer for memories, but a living portal to multiple dimensions of intelligence, insight, intuition, empathy, creativity that we've barely scratched the surface of? What if unlocking those hidden channels could revolutionize everything from your relationships to your ability to innovate, heal, and even perceive future possibilities? Today, we explore a radical idea. Your mind is a portal, and if you learn to walk through it, you step into multidimensional intelligence. It starts with curiosity. What happens when a scientist dreams of equations dancing through cosmic patterns? Or when an artist channels emotions they can't explain into a painting that moves others to tears? Or when a meditator feels an intelligence wider than personal memory, deeper than logic, guiding them in silence? These stories might seem unrelated, but beneath them lies a common thread. The mind, untethered from its ordinary routines, taps into intelligence that transcends the usual left brain/right brain dichotomy. The idea of multidimensional intelligence isn't new. It's woven through spiritual traditions, indigenous teachings, depth psychology, and even quantum science. The I Ching calls it the oracle within. Carl Jung described the collective unconscious. Modern neuroscientists talk about brain networks that unify cognition, emotion, imagination, intuition, moral insight. What if all these are describing the same phenomenon? Your mind connecting to deeper layers of reality. So, what does it look like in real life? Imagine you're facing a creative block. You sketch away, nothing works, and you stop. Then, suddenly, a flash, an image, an idea, a melody came from nowhere. That's not random. That's your mind tapping into associative memory, novel pattern recognition, emotional nuance, all coming together in a spark of insight. The ancient Greeks called it muse. Today, we call it creativity. But it's really multidimensional intelligence, different faculties converging in unexpected synergy. Or think about empathy. True, empathy isn't just imagining how someone feels. It's actually experiencing echoes of their emotional world inside you. Therapists, healers, spiritual guides describe this over and over. They receive insights, memories, physical sensations they never personally had, yet they know them as if they did. That's another facet of multidimensional mind, a portal connecting to other minds, other timelines, deeper resonance. Even moral insight, knowing what the right move is, what aligns with justice or kindness, often appears not through logic, but as immediate knowing. Stoic philosophers called it right reason, Eastern mystics called it inner guidance, modern psychologists call it intuition or moral reasoning. But it's more. It's multidimensional intelligence arising from our deeper being. Science is catching up. Brain scans show that insight and intuition light up networks that link the prefrontal cortex, limbic system, and core default mode network, bridging cognition, emotion, and subconscious processing. Even quantum physicists, dealing with entangled particles and non-locality, hint at a model of consciousness that's more than neural firing. It's informational and connected to an underlying field. Researchers in parapsychology and consciousness studies explore precognition, telepathy, remote viewing, hard to replicate but persistently reported. But how do we unlock these layers of intelligence at will? How do we train our minds to walk through portals instead of stumbling by accident? Here are some transformative practices: intentional silences, meditation, contemplative breathing. Even just 10 minutes of quiet can shift you out of autopilot into deeper awareness. Silence tunes your mind to subtle vibrations of thought, emotion, intuition. Dream journaling. Dreams often carry messages from unconscious layers: symbolic, intuitive, nonlinear. Keep a journal by your bed, record fragments, recurring symbols, feelings. Over time, you'll learn their language, creative flow. Whether painting, writing, coding, dancing, enter state of flow by removing judgment, setting minimal goals, continuous movement. Creativity accesses associative networks that logic won't reach. Empathy practice. Listen to someone in need, hold non-judgmental presence, feel their feelings without fixing. Notice what emerges inside you: images, sensations, thoughts. They're not yours, but through you. Honor them. Symbolic inquiry. Use archetypes, myth, tarot, mandalas, tools that speak in symbolic language. They activate layers of your unconscious intelligence and invite deeper messages through metaphors. Nature immersion. Walk in woods, sit by water, stare at clouds. Let mind wander. Studies show deep nature contact boosts divergent thinking, stress reduction, intuitive insight. Nature connects your mind to the wider ecological mind. As you cultivate these, you develop awareness of intelligence emerging beyond reasoning. But the portal opens widest when you integrate. That means we don't separate thinking from feeling, memory from creativity, logic from silence. We build practices that honor all dimensions. Now, real-world examples. Nobel Prize-winning scientists often describe how they hit mental walls. Then insight hits them quietly in bed or shower or forest. Musicians, writers, entrepreneurs report moments of flow when time disappears and solutions reveal themselves. Healers sense exactly what to say to a stranger to unlock healing tears. These aren't anomalies. They're evidence of the mind's multidimensional potential operating through portals of awareness. And the implications. Imagine teams trained in creative flow using project breakthroughs regularly. Or therapists tapping empathic portals to guide clients beyond trauma. Or educators teaching young people not just to memorize, but to access associative, emotional, intuitive, subtle knowing. We begin to shape a society that values wisdom, not just data. Of course, there are challenges. Our modern culture values speed, certainty, visible proof, and standardized testing. Portals thrive in ambiguity, mystery, unquantifiable spaces. Cultivating them means embracing humility, patience, trust in not knowing, and tolerance for uncertainty. It also invites discipline, consistent silence, reflection, curiosity. But perhaps the greatest invitation is this: to see your mind not as a fixed container, but as an interface, a gateway, a sacred portal. What if every moment held the potential to access deeper intelligence, to sense patterns society doesn't see yet, to know beyond logic, to heal beyond words? The gateway to your multidimensional intelligence opens wider when you begin trusting experiences that lie beyond logical explanation. Imagine gently breathing into stillness each morning for just 10 minutes, then carrying that patience into your day. With time, you begin noticing whispers of insight, a solution floating to awareness, an image stirring remembrance, an emotion hinting at truth before the mind can name it. That is the portal opening, Let's dive deeper into practical exercises to unlock and amplify these inner gateways. Gateway technique #1. Structured silence and contemplation start small. Daily, sit in stillness for 10 minutes. No phone, no agenda, just your own presence. Breathe naturally and soften your gaze. Be okay with silence, with nothing happening. Thoughts will come, but your task is not to resist or engage. Just notice them and return to the breath. After the session, ask gently, what wants to emerge? Carry that question through your day. Journal any impressions, subtle colors, sensations, ideas, even if they seem trivial. Over weeks, patterns emerge. Your mind begins communicating through symbols and intuitions. This isn't hypnosis. You're not wishfully seeking signals. You're accessing the deeper rhythm of your awareness. As your silence deepens, observe shifts in your relationships and decisions. Small impulses, like calling someone or sending a message, will arrive seemingly out of nowhere, but are rooted in empathic knowing or creative awareness. These synchronistic nudges are your portal in action. Gateway technique #2. Dream activation before sleep. Hold an intention. I open to my dream mind tonight. Place a dream journal or recorder by your bedside. In the morning, before moving, recall any dream fragments, even emotional residues count. Write or speak them immediately. Pay attention to recurring symbols. Water, birds, buildings, storms, ancestors, dialogues. Noticing these, you develop a personal, symbolic vocabulary. Over time, when you encounter a life decision, you can ask, have I seen this symbol before? You're connecting waking life to dream intelligence, accessing memory pools deeper than conscious thought. Some people use a nocturnal trigger. A word, question, phrase repeated internally as they drift to sleep. This plants a seed in the unconscious, increasing the likelihood of vivid, meaningful dreams. Waking with that trigger intact, they unlock insights long buried beneath waking routines. Gateway technique #3. Flow state priming. Flow is the state in which your mind loses its boundaries and merges with creativity. To access it, choose an activity you love: drawing, writing, coding, gardening. Turn off distractions, set a small goal, draw 3 shapes, write 100 words, and remove judgment. Use a timer, 15 to 30 minutes. Let your body and mind synchronize. In flow, ideas become alive. Your mind taps intuitive connections, surprising solutions, an understanding of complexity that escapes reason alone. These arise from neural circuits engaging deeply integrated networks, cognitive, emotional, motor, sensory, forming a portal into multi-layered awareness. Gateway technique #4. Empathic resonance practice in one-on-one conversation, or even while listening to a speaker. Focus entirely on the person's presence. No planning response. Only feel their tone, body language, emotion. Sensations will arise. A tightness in your chest, a wave of warmth, a childhood echo. Let them come. After the exchange, quietly observe what you felt. Was it sorrow, hope, past memory? These are fragments of resonance, touching something in their field, and acting as a mini portal that connects you to their inner world. Over time, your ability to sense motives, needs, unspoken truths deepens dramatically. Gateway technique #5. Symbolic reflection tools. Symbols speak to the unconscious. Pick a card, a myth, an archetype. Say, the labyrinth, the phoenix, the threshold. Sit with that image in silence for 5 minutes. What emotions arise? What associations? Write your stream of consciousness. These images bypass ego chatter and tap emotional memory and intuition. They open doors to insights about your path, personality, upcoming decisions. Viewed over time, this becomes a library of personal wisdom, a reliable multidimensional portal. Gateway technique #6, nature immersion reset plan weekly nature exposure. A forest, stream, mountain, rocky beach. Leave phones behind. Walk silently for at least 30 minutes. Observe subtle shifts, breeze patterns, light changes, wildlife movements. Let stillness settle. Nature primes your mind into slow time and wide attention mode, grounded in senses, yet open to imagination and intuition. Great ideas often arise in nature's pause, where the portal between conscious thought and deeper intelligence becomes porous. Each of these gateways, silence, dreams, flow, empathy, symbols, nature, activates your multidimensional mind. Individually, they hold power. Together, they form a web of entry points. The more portals you create, the more fluid your access becomes across dimensions of thought, emotion, imagination, insight, and relational intelligence. Phase integration ritual. At the end of each week, review your journal, notes, dream fragments, empathic insights, creative outputs. Notice overlaps. Maybe a dream symbol appeared in a painting, or a flow-generated idea solved a work problem. Or an empathic echo informed a conflict resolution. These intersections are the fingerprints of multidimensional intelligence weaving together. Recognize them, celebrate them, share them. Teaching or helping others becomes another portal, reinforcing your own. Caveat and ethics. Portals reveal more than ideas. They can surface unresolved emotion, moral clarity, or shadow. Approach with integrity. Shadow material may appear anger, grief, guilt. Great awareness invites responsibility. If a gateway reveals a personal trauma or impulse, pause. Choose compassion. Seek safety. A therapeutic container, trusted friend, journaling, gentle breath. Multidimensional intelligence works best when anchored, embodied, and aligned with your values. Transition caution. Overexposure to inner imagery, silence, or empathy can feel disorienting. You may question solid ground, feel emotionally raw, or confuse internal signals. Maintain boundaries. Set clear intentions before gateways. Ground with simple physical routines, self-care, community, and solace in daily rituals. Meals, movement, pets. These anchor you in the ordinary world as you explore deeper dimensions. This isn't solipsistic spirituality. It's an integrated transformation. Wise people across cultures have walked portals. Shamans, seers, sages, artists, scientists. They honored ground and sky, introversion and outreach, reflection and action. This is your invitation, not to escape reality, but to enrich it. To live with more meaning, insight, kindness, creativity. Now that we've mapped the gateways and awakened subtle practices, the question becomes, what happens when people truly live this way? What unfolds when the mind consistently steps through these portals into multidimensional intelligence? The answer is both deeply personal and universally transformative. Across history and culture, mystics, visionaries, inventors, and healers reported that their breakthroughs came not from relentless analysis, but from moments of surrender. When something greater than thought itself whispered a truth they could never logically deduce. Tesla claimed to see his inventions fully formed in flashes of insight. Jung felt ancient archetypes visit him in dreams. Indigenous shamans described dialogues with the spirit of nature. What they accessed was not fantasy. It was a deeper channel within the human mind's infinite structure. In today's world, people still access this. A modern neurosurgeon recounts how an unexplainable knowing guides his hand to avoid hidden dangers in surgery. A business leader makes life-altering decisions not by market data, but by gut feeling, and it saves their company. An artist paints images she's never consciously imagined, yet they heal strangers who see them. All of these are encounters with the portal. But here's the deeper truth. This capacity isn't rare. It's not a gift for the chosen few. It's innate, dormant within you, waiting for conscious activation. The only reason it seems rare is because modern culture suppresses it. Distraction, speed, and superficiality drown the subtle signals of multidimensional mind. To reclaim it, you must remember the ancient ways of attention, presence, reverence, and symbolic sight. And the effects of living this way ripple out. People who regularly access these deeper currents report an uncanny increase in synchronicities. The right person calls at the right moment. A forgotten book falls off the shelf with the exact message needed. A long-buried memory surfaces just when it might heal a relationship. Life begins speaking to you in patterns, not coincidences. It's not magic. It's that you've tuned your mind to a deeper network of meaning. What science calls the subconscious, what mystics call the subtle body, what philosophers name archetypal intelligence, all point to the same multidimensional field. And you are not separate from it. You are both vessel and architect of that field. Every thought, emotion, intuition, and act of courage you embody subtly reweaves its threads. And what of fear? Because when you open these portals, sometimes the darkness surfaces too. Old wounds, ancestral grief, forgotten betrayals, moments when your certainty collapses. This too is intelligence. It is the mind's way of clearing obstructed passageways so higher insight can descend. The only way is through. And you will discover that on the other side of fear is not emptiness, but a deeper, quieter form of power. When you truly live multidimensionally, the boundary between inner and outer dissolves. Dreams bleed into waking life. Intuition leads actions before the facts arrive. Creativity no longer feels forced. It emerges spontaneously. Your relationships shift because you no longer listen just to words, but to the energy between them. You navigate life not just with logic, but with a compass that senses patterns most never see. And what's remarkable is that your own mind will test you. The more you access this field, the more your reality bends around your beliefs. If you expect insight, it will come. If you fear madness, shadows will rise. This is why ancient wisdom traditions insisted on practices of grounding, humility, and ethical clarity. Because the portal gives you access to intelligence, but your intention shapes the messages you receive. So, how do you navigate this new terrain safely and meaningfully? With 3 keys. 1. Clarity of intention. Before every practice, dream work, meditation, empathy, symbol inquiry, state your purpose. I seek wisdom for healing. Or I open to insight for the highest good. Intention shapes the dimension you enter. 2. Anchoring in embodiment. Balance portal practices with grounding rituals. Movement, nature walks, community, tactile crafts. The more multidimensional your mind, the more your body must anchor the energy to stay sane and strong. 3. Relational wisdom. Use these gifts not just for yourself, but in service to others. Share insights humbly. Practice discernment. Listen deeply. A multidimensional mind is not a throne, but a bridge between worlds. When you weave these into your life, something astonishing happens. You become less reactive, more curious. Old fears lose their grip. Creativity feels inevitable. Synchronicities multiply. Dreams grow lucid. Even difficulty transforms into meaningful challenge. You stop seeking escape and instead realize you were born not to flee the world, but to transmute it, beginning within your own mind. Because when you unlock multidimensional intelligence, you don't just perceive new realities, you participate in their creation. The mind you possess is not a static organ, but an ancient doorway to the infinite. Every time you slow down, listen inward, sense subtle patterns, or act on a whisper no one else hears, you open that doorway wider. And if enough of us do this quietly, daily, the world shifts. New forms of problem-solving appear. Compassion rises where division once ruled. Culture begins to honor wisdom over spectacle. Art regains its sacred purpose. Human beings remember they are, in essence, portals for intelligence not born of data, but of depth. So now the invitation is yours. In the days ahead, choose one portal practice. Sit in silence. Record your dreams. Lose yourself in creative flow. Speak a question to the night sky and listen for its answer. Pay attention to the moments between thoughts. The future you seek, not the one dictated by algorithms and noise, is already stirring within you. The mind you carry holds dimensions far older and vaster than you've ever been told. The portal isn't coming. It's already here. And it's you. Stay awake. Stay curious. The next dimension is waiting.